Hey guys, it's Elena. Welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be showing you how to make your very own shorts. This is perfect for summer and I love them because you can customize the length. They have a stretchy waistband, so they are just like so comfortable, you don't even know. You're gonna love it, and I'm gonna walk you through all the steps so that you can make your own shorts. I'm using the Simplicity 1165 pattern, so get yourself one of those and you can make these shorts. So we are gonna start by cutting out all of our pieces of our pattern. So I'm cutting out a front piece, a back piece, we've got a front yoke piece, a pocket piece, as well as a waistband piece. You'll also want to make sure that you have the appropriate elastic for this. I'll show you what kind that I use. And once you have all these pieces, make sure that they are all nice and flat and ironed, and then you can start assembling all of your pocket pieces. So for the front part of our shorts, you're going to place the front piece of the short and the short yoke together and sew along this little arch using your normal seam allowance. And whenever you're done doing that sewing, you're going to want to clip along that curve so that it folds over really nicely. So I'm just cutting little tiny triangles all along the way, and you can kind of see that little collection. I just thought they looked a little bit funny. So once I have clipped that curve, I am just folding it so that both pieces are right side out. I gave that a really good iron, and then I am doing a very small 1/4 inch seam allowance to do a top stitch all along that curve that I just sewn. Doing this will make sure that it sits really nice and flat and is not going to move anywhere. So now I'm going to fold that yoke piece over so that all of the edges are lined up. So we're going to first start by sewing that bottom piece, which is the bottom of that front pocket. I'm also going to pin along the top just to make sure it's not moving anywhere. And then once those two pieces are sewn, you can attach the side. At the top, there will be a little gap where it's not connected, and that's totally right. That is where you're going to be able to slide your hand into this pocket. Make sure that you're also finishing off all of your raw edges however you'd like. I am using a serger to finish off my raw edges, especially starting now with this pocket piece. When you go to do all of these attachments, I used a very small seam allowance so that when I went to actually sew my short pieces together, you would not see these seams. So here's that finished front pocket. You can slide your hand in and it just looks really nice. I love how it turned out. So to put together the back pocket, we are going to fold down about 1/4 inch and then fold that over again, the amount listed on the pattern. You're gonna iron it and then sew down the sides so that when you go to fold out that top piece, you're gonna pop out those raw edges, making that 1/4 inch piece that you folded under folded inside, making sure that there are no raw edges visible. You'll want to iron that and then sew to secure that. Normally you would sew it on the other side, but I have decided to sew on the right side of my pocket just to make sure that my seam is following the gingham lines. Once that pocket is finished, I am just placing it onto my back piece where the pattern has you place it, and then I'm just pinning all the way around. This pocket is a little bit difficult because the bottom corners are curved, but just go really slow. Make sure that you've ironed it really well and that it's pinned on really well, and you should have no problem getting those attached on to look really nice and clean. There's a freaking fly in here. It just flew over there.
See a fly?
Yeah. Once that's done and all your pockets are complete, now you're going to put the fronts and backs of your shorts together along that inner leg seam. You can just use your normal seam allowance here as well, and I really didn't need to do much pinning here just because it is a straight line, but make sure you're going really nice and slow and getting that all lined up very well. As I said before, I am serging all of my raw edges. It's really important to do this between all of your steps because as I go to do this next part, I want that inner seam already serged because next when I go to attach the fronts and backs to the other fronts and back pieces, I won't have an opportunity to do that serge after this point. So make sure that you do finish off all of your seams as you go along, and that will help it look really nice and professional and will be less difficult to finish those off in the future. So with this step, I made sure to nest my seams and then I went and pinned the rest of the way before I sewed it. And then after that point, I can now put my shorts completely right sides together and sew down the outside seam. It's best to make sure that you're being aware of the directional sewing. So I have decided to sew from top to bottom. So I'm making sure that I'm sewing from top to bottom on the left side of my shorts as well as the right side of my shorts. Once that part is done, I'm going to move on to the waistband. So I'm taking my waistband and I've sewn a little bit, taken a break, and then I'm moving down about an inch and then continuing to sew the rest. You want to leave a little tiny space about a quarter of the way in so that you have a little opening when you fold it in half, only on the one side of your waistband so that you can put in your elastic. So once you've done that, you're going to fold that waistband right sides out and then put wherever you had that opening to the back of your shorts and have it facing out so that when you flip it in, that little opening will be on the inside of your shorts. And then just go ahead and pin all the way along, making sure that you're catching all 3 layers. So you're going to have 2 layers of your waistband matching up to the layer of shorts. Once I've pinned all the way around, I'm going to secure this with my normal straight stitch. And also, just a reminder, make sure that you serge or finish off this raw edge before you put the elastic in. I put my elastic in and then realized, oh wait, I need to serge this before I put the elastic in because then it gets all scrunched up once the elastic is in this waistband. So make sure you serge this raw edge before you attach the elastic. Once you're ready to put it in, I have decided to just do one big elastic. I like the look of that and thought it would feel a little bit nicer. So I've just put a big safety pin on the edge of my elastic and I'm just feeding it through all the way through my waistband. You'll want to measure the waistband elastic to wherever you're going to wear your shorts, but I always like to leave it just a tiny bit longer so that I can fit it once I have the shorts actually on, just to make sure that I like it. Once I have fed it all the way through, I'm going to finally attach my waistband. I've decided to use a little square X and just sew those together, and then I'm going to reluctantly hand stitch this opening closed. I'm not a fan of hand stitching, probably because I'm not the best at it. I do need to practice, and this was really good practice actually, but I am just using a normal whip stitch to close this up. And then the very last step is to hem these shorts. I recommend hemming them after you've put in your elastic and the waistband is done, so that you know exactly where you want them to sit on you. I decided to trim my shorts about 3/4 of an inch, and then I'm doing a 3/4 inch double folded hem. So I trimmed 3/4 of an inch off, I folded it up 3/4 of an inch, and then folded it up one more time 3/4 of an inch. I pinned it, ironed it, and then just using a small seam allowance to secure that. Once I have done that, this is what that hem looks like. It's amazing, and I love double folded hems. And this is how the finished shorts look. I'm obsessed with it. If you are curious and you like my t-shirt, I have a tutorial for that, as well as my scrunchie. I just have a tutorial for everything, and this whole outfit is handmade, and it's perfect for summer. It's so comfortable, and I just am so happy with how they turned out. I hope you love this tutorial, and I will see you in the next one.